Well, my next guest has written a fascinating tale of fantasy, legend, and love. It takes place in Alaska's Aleutian Islands, remote, wild, and one step away from prehistory. In fact, the moment you step off the beaten path, you step into a secret past as brutal as it is beautiful. Got your attention yet? Certainly hope so, because the book is called Time of the Otter. And Cora Holmes joins us this morning to talk about it. Good morning to you, Cora. Good to see you.
Hi, Danielle.
I am so happy you made it to talk about the book. What is the book about, Cora?
The book is about belonging.
Okay.
Kate Browning, the main character, has always thought she knew who she was until she finds a letter addressed to her, 24 years old, in her foster parents' estate papers, and she follows it to the Aleutians.
So she finds this paper, and that's kind of where the mystery begins. I love the title of it. Where does the legend of the otter come into this?
Time of the Otter is a fantasy built on an ancient legend, and Kate finds an injured otter and tries to save it.
Okay.
And when she can't, it plunges her back in time into an alternate reality where a phantom sailing ship is threatening the village of her ancestors. And the only person who can help her is the village safety officer, who despises her and holds her in contempt.
So you got my attention. I want to talk about him in just a minute, but I also want to talk about this, and I said this a little bit at the top. You live in Alaska yourself. I want to know a little bit more about the Aleutian Islands, because it is definitely off the beaten path, is it not?
It is, and it is also Alaska's best kept secret. The Aleutian Islands are protected from the outside world by fog and storms and angry seas. There are 300 volcanic islands that stretch 1,200 miles along the Bering Sea, and the Aleutian Islands average only about 8 sunny days a year.
How many?
8, and once you are hooked by one of those sunny days, though, you are hooked forever.
Girl, I don't know if 8 days can hook me, but I don't know. We'll have to see about that one.
So when I did hear that legend of the otters about the two brother and sister who fell in love and threw themselves into the sea to become the first sea otters, I knew I had to write about it.
Sounds wonderful. I want to talk a little bit now about the main character, Kate. She's a self-sufficient marine biologist. We know that. So she gets off the plane in the Aleutian Islands, and then she meets the man that you talked about briefly a couple of minutes ago. And you write that he kind of scares her into a panic attack, so to speak. Without giving too much away, what is it that frightens her about him?
Mostly his blue shirt. He is a lawman, but something about blue is very disturbing to her. But she has no reason to trust a lawman. And
so then why is he so important?
He's important because he's part of that otter legend, whether he knows it or not, and he gets sucked into that alternate reality with her.
Got you. We've got, what, about 30 seconds left, but I want to ask you this because I'm fascinated to hear why people become writers. What inspires them? What inspires you to write?
Things I care passionately about, and I love the Aleutians. I love writing about them, and I love the history of the Aleutians. And so now, instead of writing fiction, I've gone back to writing nonfiction, like my first 2 books, and I'm compiling a history of the sheep ranches in the Aleutian chain. I feel a huge kinship with the women who were there before me, like Arlene Cranich, who came out in 1929 as a new bride and lived in the same house that I lived in 50 years later. Wow. She homeschooled her son there. She made a home in that wilderness and put curtains on the windows and nursed baby lambs behind the stove the same way I did.
Wonderful. Very quickly, are there more books to come?
That's going to be it.
That's it?
That history,
okay.
I think that history will be my swan song.
Well, Cora, just a fascinating book. Thank you so much for coming by and sharing it with us this morning.
Well, thanks for having me. I really enjoyed it. We're going to spend some time in Florida and enjoy some of your sunny days.
I know, before you go back to your 8 days of sunshine.
Right.
We're going to. Cora Holmes,
Thank you.
What a pleasure. Thanks for coming by.
Thank you.
And once again, the book is called Time of the Otter. For more information on Cora or the book, please visit the website coraholmes.com.